right, let's start it. The opening match was for the 6-man tag team title with, I forgot to write down which ones are the champions. I think it was the Four
Opps.
Horsemen, right?
No, the Opps are the champions.
The Opps are the champion. So it was Samoa Joe and Hobbs and Shapoopy defending against Claudio and Wheeler Useless and good old Gabe Kidd. And the bell rang and they broke into an immediate 6-way, and there were 4 on the floor. And with Poopy and Kidd in the ring, and they traded like 60 or 70 fake chops that neither one would sell while the other guys are fighting. I'm like, this is the goddamn start of this fucking thing. And that's when I realized, nobody gives 2 shits what we say about this match. So therefore, I'm fast forwarding to the finish. And I do think that Shapoopy doesn't get enough attention when we talk about really bad wrestlers. Because the thing that he has where people hit him and he doesn't even blink is so phony that you can register without selling something, but you have to acknowledge the impact, or it exacerbates and exaggerates the fakeness of what the guy hit you with. And he's real bad. So after about 15 minutes, the heels were beating on Joe in the ring 3-on-1, while Hobbs and Poopy, on the wide shots, you could see them kneeling at ringside watching them do it until their cue came for them to come in and help. And then Joe got Wheeler up in a muscle buster 1, 2, 3. But then, of course, the heels got back on the baby faces because they can't help themselves. Every goddamn match. If the heels win, heat after. If the heels lose, heat after. If the match doesn't happen, heat after. And they beat Hobbs up with a chair and then put the chair around Joe's neck and Pillmanized Joe's neck with the chair. And then the heels left, so the doctors came in with a fucking stretcher. And they took time. They showed it. They weren't rushing it. You're seeing them load him up and get him out. So the first match on a 6-hour show is a 15-minute long 6-man title match with heat after and a hospitalization angle that they will repeat verbatim before the thing is over with. Brian, your thoughts on this situation?
Well, that's an AEW thing. I think in AEW's best moments, they always do the same angle twice on the same show. They've been doing that since the beginning. It's kind of a throwaway 6-man match for me. I'm not a fan of the Death Riders. I think Claudio is fucking poison when it comes to I can't get into anything he's doing. Those European uppercuts are the worst looking thing in wrestling. They don't look like they do anything. And
I won't even argue with you there, but no, I think there's a lot of phonier looking shit on this program.
Claudio, I know it's like one of his main things. It looks awful. Every time he does it, it looks like, that's what imagine if Claudio just threw a fucking punch. It would actually look good compared to that.
But now think about this. You're talking about a program where some of these guys, if they land something in the vicinity, so, you got to don't deal in hyperbole, stick to accurate description.
I don't
go ahead.
I don't care too much about the Opps. Gabe Kidd's interesting. He's kind of like a Killer Cross off the gas. He's got kind of like a little attitude. I'm not going to completely dismiss him. I wish he wasn't aligned with the fucking wrestling death that is the Death Riders. No one wants to see any of that shit. But I'm curious to see what they're going to do with him, if anything, or if this is just, a temporary thing because he's going to be in New Japan.
But doesn't he just distract from Josh Alexander, who's like better?
Josh Alexander, man. I don't know if you watched this. I'll say it here, and if I have to say it again later, I will. Josh Alexander came out for that Casino Gauntlet match, and you could have heard crickets. You could have heard fucking crickets.
Oh, I'm not saying he's over, but to me, they look like they ought to be a brother tag team. And except the Gabe Kidd has no physique and no intensity.
They look like
nevertheless,
they look like little Moxleys. Well, Gabe Kidd more than Josh Alexander, but yeah, to me it was a throwaway opener. I'm glad they did it here instead of in the middle of the show. That would have caused the biggest bathroom break ever. But not my thing, this match.